Coach, training camp wrapping up. First preseason game tomorrow night in Fresno, and I guess a quick analysis of camp so far.
Well, it's been great. We got a great group working extremely hard, doing an outstanding job of understanding our principles, what we're trying to accomplish on the basketball floor, working real hard, competing for the first time. Since I've been here, we have depth at every position, so it makes practice even much more exciting. And I think the guys overall, collectively, they're excited about facing real competition as opposed to beating each other up.
How is it to work with some size?
Well, it's been great. When you look in the paint area, obviously Bogut's not there yet, but even looking at Fesazili and Beatrice, those guys battling each other in the paint. And then you look at David Lee against Carl Landry. Again, physical presence in the paint. You have to respond. It certainly makes you better.
How much better defensively will you be, just simply because the team is bigger?
Well, I think you have big guys that protect the paint area. It certainly makes you a better basketball team defensively. It makes life tougher for when guys are trying to penetrate in the paint area, finishing at the rim. Now there's a price to pay because we have depth, we have athleticism, and we have tremendous size.
With, say, a percentile, how much of the things you want to have in place in terms of terminology and schemes, how much of that is in place right now?
Well, we've got a good percent of it in. Some of the stuff from last year. Also, I give my guys a lot of credit because the day after Labor Day, they came into town, and the rules allow you to do certain things on the floor. We stayed within the rules, but we got a lot accomplished, and because of that, we feel we're ahead of the curve and moving forward.
Tell me a little bit about Steph Curry and what you saw with him this week.
Oh, he's looking very good. We want to be smart with how we use them in practice and also in game situations. Our mindset is game one of the regular season, not game one of the preseason. It's important for us to make sure and realize that when you talk about Steph Curry and Andrew Bogut, these guys haven't played in a long time. So you want to pretty much control how much they do and make sure that they get their proper treatment and proper rest.
It's a weird start to the preseason, a back-to-back. Does that going to change the way you approach the games in terms of maybe we'll see some guys one night, some guys not the next night?
Well, it will. I think overall, especially when you're talking about a guy like Steph, certainly I don't want to make it like a back-to-back-to-back because we're just fresh off of practice, a hard, crisp practice. You don't want to now send them into a game tomorrow and then another one on Monday. So you want to make the proper decisions, and then across the board, just making sure guys are healthy and then make decisions based on that. But it'll be interesting to see how certain guys play with one another on the floor.
Have you seen any looks from the rookies so far that maybe like, how fast is this game and what am I doing?
What I do see is they understand that this is a whole different level, where they stepped on the floor in college or in high school or in AAU basketball and they were the best player on the court. One thing you realize when you get to this level, there's great players at every position, night in and night out. And with the good teams, you find that out in practice. And I think our rookies realize that they heard the names after the draft. They heard the names building up to preseason. But seeing these guys live, you realize it's not as easy as you thought it would be.
You know, last year at times I thought you were almost had the situation dictated to you as to who you could play and when because of injuries and so on. This year you have some tough choices, albeit the kind of choices you want to have as a head coach, whether it be small forward or your rotation.
Well, one thing as a coach, what you want is options, and we certainly have that at different positions. We also have it because the guys that play the 2 and the 3 position, versatility. You look at Jarrett Jack, the ability to play the 1 and the 2. So we have options, but these are the type of options that make you a better coach overall because at the end of the day, talent prevails in this league.
Well, no question about that. The team gets a chance to bond a little bit because you go on a preseason road trip. They get to get away from here, and sometimes I think a team finds itself on the road.
Well, I'm a guy that played in this league, and I totally understand the way you build team chemistry on the road, away from family, away from distractions. So it's going to be great. Now, guys, actually tonight I believe they're going to see a movie. I was shocked that they didn't invite me, but I think it's great. We got a great group of guys that really enjoy one another.
Yeah, come on. You know they're going to be looking over their shoulder if you're there. You know, you have all the playing time.
I might just surprise them and sit in the back somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah. That's a good sign. And, you know, you've talked about this even going back to the draft, and so has Bob Myers and Jerry West and Joe Lacob, that this is a good group of guys.
You know, I don't take that for granted. You know, I thought about it last night as I was watching the baseball wild card play. I thought about it. I'm extremely fortunate to have a great group of guys. I've played for teams and I've watched teams where they didn't enjoy one another. It was knuckleheads and guys with their own agenda. At the end of the day, I'm extremely fortunate to have some quality guys and great leaders.
All right, those knuckleheads. Name names. Come on, we know.
Mark Jackson.
So as I wrap this up, you know, everybody is excited. Obviously, health is a big key for this team. But to me, what stands out is the depth. You mentioned the options. I think this team is built to survive an 82-game schedule.
Well, we really are. The reason why is because that depth, once again, going back to that. Last year, injury happened. Another guy gets hurt. All of a sudden, you're looking around and you're trying to create a five-course meal with some leftovers. And that's with all due respect to those guys because they work their tail off, and I appreciate them. But that being said, you win in this league with talent. We are able to, hopefully we don't have to find out, but we can handle a guy being hurt right now across the board because we have tremendous depth at every position.
So cooking tips next time from you? You're talking about that five-course meal that we can...
Sandwiches, you know, just the basics.
The
very,
basics,
very basic.
Just to get through the night?
Yes.
Okay. Coach, thanks so much for coming by and chatting. And I know everybody is excited. And granted, it's just preseason, but it's going to be great to watch the guys go up against other teams the next couple of nights.
Well, thanks for having me.